Well, I'll hope you forgive me today. It's kind of a strange day, I guess, in a lot of ways. I don't have a lot to talk about today because I didn't do any show prep because I have a wedding to do today. In literally just an hour or so, I'm going to do a wedding for my daughter, stepdaughter. It's just, it's one of those things where days like this, wedding days, funeral days, they kind of get your mind thinking sometimes about life and how you got where you are and those sorts of things. And it's been an interesting experience, let me say that. A lot of people tried to warn me before Cammie and I got married. Being a stepdad is not an easy thing by any stretch of the imagination. And sometimes you just have to accept the fact that you're never really going to be accepted as you are or as they want you to be. I mean, you're just not. And you have to accept that role and not try to force your way into something that other people don't want you to be or that they want you to be. I don't know. There were times, I gotta tell you, there were times when I thought to myself, I've made a huge mistake, as a man named Gob would once say. There was a day, one particular day, I think it was in October, as a matter of fact. No, it couldn't have been October, it had to be late November. We had just announced it, or just found out that Cammie was pregnant with Ben. And something happened. I don't remember what it was, but boy, did it make me mad. And I had a much bigger temper in those days than I do now. Anyway, I ended up kind of leaving the house for a little while. And ended up talking to my dad, who was at that time in Tehachapi. And, I just kind of said to him, it's like, I don't know if I can do this. I just don't know. And it was as if at that moment kind of a door opened and I realized, the things that my dad had gone through with our family. My baby sister is Down syndrome, as many of you know. She has enormous health problems. She should have died before her first week was up, and somehow or another she pulled through, and that's happened so many times. I almost facetiously get to the point where every time she gets sick and everybody's like, "Ooh, this could be it." Like, yeah, right. She just doesn't seem to know that she's not supposed to make it through, and she does. And so my dad has been through all of that through the years, dealing with that, with my mom with that, and it just, it's remarkable to me. They have a plaque in their house that hangs on the wall that talks about how the angels go to God and they're talking to him about, hey, we got this child that needs a very special place, a special family, and that can handle all of this. And the implication being that Dee Dee is that angel and or that child, and that God sent them to my parents and our family because we could deal with it and we could handle it. There were times I was just a kid. I was just an older brother, and there were times when I thought to myself, how are we going to do this? And the things that changed because of that. What we did and made it through. And I thought about that and things that I didn't find out about till years later. My mother had had a major traffic accident at one point. I didn't find out till probably 5 years after the fact. Things that my dad had to deal with. My baby sister, my other brothers, and their foibles and issues, my own foibles and issues, and things that just sort of, I don't know, they didn't make the front page of the news. They were just an average American family doing average American things, dealing with average American problems. My parents have been married for, 61, long time, coming up on 60 years, I guess. 70 years? No, can't be 70 years, but 60 years anyway. And they are still dealing with issues. My mother fell a couple of weeks ago and hurt herself quite badly, ended up in a rehab facility that was locked down because of COVID, so they couldn't get in to see her. And she was really struggling with that, depressed about that. And I spent not a lot of time, not as much as I should have, on the phone with her. It just, and even this morning I was talking to my dad, and it was funny because my mother doesn't have a driver's license anymore. Since they moved to Oklahoma, her California license expired, and she just doesn't want to bother with it. And I just started laughing. I said, Dad, do you remember when she got mad at me because I wouldn't take driver's ed in high school? I didn't see the need to drive. She made me go take driver's ed. I was still a junior, I think, in high school. And she made me go to the local college there, Weber State, and take driver's ed at the college because she demanded that I get a driver's license, and he started laughing. Yeah, I remember that. But on that day that I stormed out of the house and I was just so mad, I don't remember at this moment, I have no memory of what that was. I just know it was some issue between my stepdaughter and I. And I had said to Cammie, I love you, but I don't know if I can deal with this. My dad was talking to him about it. I was sitting in a restaurant talking to him about it because I didn't know where else to go. And he said to me, Dave, you just got to love him. All you can do. You just got to love him. And that's sort of been my mantra through the years. It's hard when you're a stepdad because you're not really accepted as a father figure, but you have a co-role to play with your wife, who is their mother, and as the father of your son, Ben, who's their sister. And so you try to just hang in there, and you just try to do that. You just try to love them. That's all you can do. And remarkably enough, they make mistakes, very, very similar mistakes to the ones that we all made growing up. And you just sort of look at it and you just sort of, I don't know, you kind of laugh, but at the same time, you know what they're going through. My youngest daughter, in the early days of our marriage, found a young boy that was infatuated with her, and she couldn't understand it. And so she was talking to her mom, and they all looked at me, what do you think? And so I told them what I thought, and they were like, no way. I'm a guy. I know how guys think, even at 12. So, this is how it works. All you can do is love them. All you can do is stick with it, keep going. Marriage is a lot of work. Families are a lot of work. But they're work that you enjoy going to, not work that you hate. So keep going with that. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to go do a wedding, which is weird to me. I mean, it really is. But we're going to do that. And then the rest of the day will be, normal. Ben's still in school, and we're still doing all the stuff we do. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk about a particular issue that's bothering me and Rod, particularly as we look at the news of what's going on with the Constitution and with the confirmation hearings, Amy Barrett in Washington, D.C. And with that, I'm going to be on my way. Hope you have a great day. And remember, all you can do is love them. It's hard. It's difficult. And at the same time, it's all you can do. Just keep going. See you tomorrow, everybody.